I'll be back in Baltimore. This is Corey, and this is the O The Anthem podcast.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to episode 284 of the O The Anthem podcast. Coming to you from the hashtag OTA LA studios, high above the 110 freeway in downtown Los Angeles, California. Thank you for joining us. Let's use take two.
Thank you for watching on Facebook. Thank you for listening on Anchor, the place where you can find all the different places where you can find us in podcast form, wherever you want to listen to it. Anchor has all the links. Go to Anchor, anchor.fm/O The Anthem. And YouTube for the video version, youtube.com/O The Anthem.
And of course, you can find more O The Anthem at O The Anthem on Twitter and Instagram. You're watching live right now at facebook.com/O The Anthem. All the videos, as you say, youtube.com/O The Anthem. And everything O The Anthem is available, including the merchandise store at OTheAnthem.com.
Yes, indeed.
So let's get to the top news of the week.
I didn't drop it right there with the mention of me going home to Baltimore.
Yes, going home to Baltimore. Top news of the week.
It's finally happening this summer. I thought it never would. Every single time I looked at flights, it seemed like it was more and more expensive, and I didn't understand where it was coming from. But finally, get a chance to go home.
What's it like to be poor? Oh, guys. Now I just know like half the people watching this are going to be like, I don't know what he's doing there. I don't know what that impression's supposed to be.
It's Jiminy Glick. Look it up.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I was looking all year for like flights home, and it was like always over like $500 per person round trip.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's just not worth it to me to pay that much money because like, where am I going to be able to get that sum for a flight home at any given point? You know, like, so I don't know. I just found a nice deal on Alaskan. We decided to book it. So flying out tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing everybody. And
because if there's a time to go to Baltimore, it certainly is September.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's not humid at all.
Not humid, but, you know, to be fair, it was probably worse in August, and it's going to get cold. And I'm not looking forward to going back to Maryland this fall.
Well, I mean, at least I get to avoid the winter. Because then you get off the airplane from California in December for Christmas time, and you're just immediately hit with that like 20-degree chill, and you're just like, ooh.
Yeah, this is why I love my family. I love them to death, and I love them so much. I bought them both portals, Facebook portals, so we can chat all the time, so they won't be offended when I make a 3-day weekend of Thanksgiving and a 5-day weekend of Christmas, and then head off somewhere tropical for the rest of the days, because that's how I do things.
Back to Mexico?
Maybe Mexico. Maybe I'll go somewhere tropical in the Caribbean. Maybe I'll go to South America. I really want to go see the Pyramid of the Sun and the Moon in Mexico. So maybe I'll go that part of Mexico.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll just go to Cabo San Lucas and drive back up, or Encinitas and drive back up home. Wouldn't that be amazing? Gotta check my passport. I feel like it might expire in 2020.
That'd be a good thing to get on top of.
Yeah.
Rachel figured out hers was expired. So I was like, no trip to Mexico for you.
Oh, hey. Well, why doesn't she get it renewed?
Well, I mean, she can. She will. She just hasn't. She recognized this the other day. So
Rachel, I have a question for you as well.
Let's do that.
What's it like to be poor?
That
was almost Jiminy Glicky, just like the knocking
just
on the mic
hitting the
and the whole
microphone.
deal. Yeah, that was good.
I wonder if the people who worked sound for Jiminy Glick had to think about how he was going to interfere with the microphone and his like gesticulations.
I 100% fucked this up. Okay, wait,
it's like
I got
what do you call it? So like when they did Captain Marvel,
yes,
the whole chest piece that they used for the costume, they had the microphone and the lav built into it.
Well, of course, yeah.
So
if you're smart, that's what you would do.
Well, I'm saying like when you have Marvel money to throw around, like, hey, when we're designing this outfit piece, let's make sure that we can put the receiver in there too.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that it's transmitter. I think it's probably they probably put it into the fat suit. I would imagine, like built it into the fat suit.
Wouldn't there be a lot of rub though?
I mean, there could be, or you could figure out some sort of way to fashion it in a way that it didn't rub against things.
I feel like he just had the most unhappy boom operator in the history of film. You imagine the guy who's just like trying to stay out of frame, and he's going left, and he's moving. Or, you know, I mean, we assume that Martin Short was just kind of making it up as he goes along. But that could have all been like pre-choreographed. You know what I mean? Like, like he's going to say.
They could have figured it out beforehand.
Step 2, 3, and then lean forward quickly. So like your boom op's like step 2, 3, and he's like ready there.
It's right there.
Yeah. But.
All right. Well, we figured it out on air. That's
ruining
the most important thing.
Ruining the movie magic. Sorry, everybody.
Speaking of ruining movie magic.
Oh, yes, of course. Now,
Rob's going to come out with a review.
I made a promise to the people who listen to this podcast regularly.
Yeah.
And I said before these mics came on, I would record an episode of the Everyman movie review. Not only did I record an episode of the Everyman movie review.
Not just merely one episode.
Not just one. I recorded 3 episodes of the Everyman movie review. I'm going to record another 3 this week. I also recorded an introduction that's going to go up this week and a special video just for my patrons from Patreon. So I know you guys at Patreon haven't heard from me since, get this, April of 2018.
Oh, yeah.
I have bombarded you with 3 posts in the last 2 days, and more coming this week. So the deal is, if you follow me on Patreon, you get early access. So they are going to get to enjoy it for a day or 2. I also don't want to conflict with Corey's posting schedule, which is
whenever I see a movie.
Yeah, just so regularly. It's easy to follow.
Now, Johnny Unitas, there's a haircut you can set a watch to.
So, and I don't want to interfere with the podcast, so I wouldn't put it up on Tuesday.
Right.
I'm thinking maybe Thursday, maybe I'll do the introduction Thursday, and then later this week I'll do another episode.
Are you just going to try and beat me to air on Thursday every week? Is that the...
No, because I probably won't have time to do them with such veracity as you do. Right. I got to catch up on the crappy reviews you've been doing for the last few weeks before I get to this. But episode 1, The Injustice That Cannot Be Left Alone, Chapter 2, will be my first review. You're going to hear that as the first episode after the introduction. So make sure that you keep an eye out for that.
Can I get a preview of your scoring system or something like that?
Because sure. Here's the scoring system. That's it.
Thumbs up and thumbs down?
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Okay.
Not 2 thumbs up, not 5 thumbs up. It's a thumb up or a thumb down. Did the movie deliver on what it promised? Was it entertaining? Is it going to win an Oscar? I don't give a fuck. All right? I don't. How was this shot choice was very... I don't care. I want to be entertained. It's the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And in some measure, I want to escape from my daily life. In fact, I'm going to quote myself, because if you're going to quote a genius, why not pick the best one you know? From the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, where I said, listen... I went into that movie saying, I don't know if I'm in the mood for this. Like, I've had a very long day, a very rough day. We went to a later showing. I feel like that was like an 8:30
It was like
showing.
a Sunday showing, too.
Yeah. No. It was like a weekday.
Was it?
Yeah, because I was not feeling up to the movie for whatever reason. Yeah.
I swore it was a Sunday.
I don't think so. I think we saw maybe. I feel like it was a work day because I was very tired and I was like, I don't think that I'm up for this movie tonight. But 3 minutes in, I was a 12-year-old kid sitting under my covers with that scary book in my hand reading, and that's all I want. I want to forget about my day. I want to forget about all of that stuff and just get lost in a universe.
Okay.
And it absolutely delivered. Thumb up. Thumb up. Go check it out. Oh, and I want to welcome everybody who is watching live at facebook.com/O The Anthem right now, including Jim. And I want Jim to understand me very plainly. I enjoy his movie reviews. I think that his movie reviews are somewhere in between the pretentiousness of Corey's movie reviews and the somewhat laissez-faire attitude that I'm going to have towards movie reviews. So everyone should check out Jim Gisriel on... YouTube and Jim Force on Twitter. Jim with 2 M's on Twitter because branding not in the forte of a guy who really knows his movies. But check out the Everyman movie reviews coming up starting this week.
I wonder if Jim thinks that we just encroached on his territory.
I mean, you certainly have. You take it very seriously. I do not.
I was just trying to find something that felt like... something that I felt like somebody in the film industry. There doesn't seem to be a lot of reviews for people inside a film. You know, that's what I'm talking about.
I've come to this town and I've ruined the sound booming and sound mixing part of the industry. Now I'm just going to go ruin the rest of it.
Whatever.
That was a Corey Baker quote from this year. So anyway, Jim, enjoy yours. Keep it up.
There's room in this pool for everyone.
There's especially room in this pool when you get a couple dozen viewers and listeners for every review. I get 0 thus far. I mean, two people who've listened to it thus far, and Jim gets 6,000 listeners per episode. So yeah, we're in the shallow end. We're sitting with our feet in the water, and Jim's out there doing backstroke in the deep end. So
he's in the wave pool.
Yeah, totally different.
Surfing in the wave
different
pool.
Experience. Now, all that aside, I mean, look for the new stuff. That's going to be good. Whenever Corey gets some free...
Michael Phillips a pussy.
Whenever Corey gets some free time in his life, maybe we'll have some more of our stuff that comes out. In the meantime, I'm going to keep producing stuff for you. That, however, much to my chagrin, is not the news story of the week. Do you know what the news story of the week is?
2-0?
Nope. There is a rat in your unit. That is a fact.
Sorry, do it one more time.
Oh, did you not hear it?
No, I had it on mute by accident.
Look, there is a rat in your unit. That is a fact, all right?
I can't believe people didn't get to hear it the first time. But that's all right. That's all right. So, I don't want to get into the whole thing. All I'm saying is this. There needs to be an understanding. You know what? You don't deserve to be in this. There needs to be an understanding among men. Listen, I know at some point we men may evolve a spine. As part of the genus or as part of the species. We may evolve a spine. I just don't know when it's going to happen. And I certainly know that it's too late for this poor schmuck. Because he does not have a spine at all. Yeah, it's nothing important. It's really nothing important. It's 2 facts that have come out in the same week. Where one, our private boys club Facebook group has been reasonably read by his girlfriend regularly. It's like a diary he's got tucked under the mattress, and he's just letting her read it free reign. No lock on it or anything. No 1-pin heart lock on the outside. Just free reign. Now we have to have a separate without Corey boys chat so we can make sure we talk about some stuff there and the rest of the stuff here, because who knows what's going to find out.
Literally everything that has ever been read from the boys chat, appeared on the screen kind of thing, has always been all right, I'll be there in 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
Look, there is a rat in your unit. That is a fact, all right?
There is a rat in our unit. It is a fact.
And number 2, the other thing that you're really upset about, you said to her face.
I definitely did say it to her face.
That's the rat. The rat in the building is you.
I definitely did say it to her face. Now,
no, because
it's possible.
Here's the thing. Because for somebody who talks as much as I do,
yes.
When I'm around, when I'm just hanging out, when I'm not on and stuff like that, it's very monosyllabic. It's very
here, babe, read my phone. I don't want to tell you about it.
It'd be like if Rachel is like, hey, do you know if Rob has any plans for this week? I would just be like, I don't know.
Read my phone.
No,
why don't you just read it for yourself? It's fine.
I'd just be like, I don't know, and then go outside.
Now here's the one concession I'll give you. I had 6 Angry Orchards in 2 hours on Sunday, so it is possible, and not 6 bottles. I had 6
tins.
The pint glasses of Angry Orchard.
And to be fair, you were sitting right next to her the entire time.
I was sitting right next to her most of the time.
Yeah.
So I'll concede it is possible that
because
I said
she
something.
knew about it. I didn't even fucking remember a bit.
Yeah, that's because you're just trying to listen because there can't be a moment of silence between you. Am I
the type of rat who says something out loud to somebody else, something that I didn't know was secure information, and then forget about it immediately?
It's plausible deniability. It's just regurgitate the information and then forget the regurgitation. So later you could say things like, well, it's monosyllabic. I don't even talk at all. And then not remember that you did it.
By the way, Roberto is deep throat. Forgotten.
Wait, because
Men in Black myself.
And I can't say. So here's the thing. These are the 2 people I hang out with most. The 2 people I hang out with most, and almost solely in LA, is this one.
Look, there is a rat in your unit. That is a fact, all right?
And the one who makes jokes that are so close to the truth that everyone gets upset about how close to the truth it is. And then he gets his feelings hurt and wants to go cry for a couple hours and be, no, I'm just going to stay here, man. No. Like, all right, listen. If I was accused of beating my spouse, the last joke I would make is to go in a room and be like, you're going to learn today. You're going to learn today. Because it's a little too close to the truth and people would maybe take it too seriously.
Anyway, sports ball.
Corey, let me ask you this. When did you stop beating your wife?
I've never been married.
Oh, that's very true.
That's a new way of doing it.
A new awkward way of getting out of that conversation. So I just want to remind all of you.
Joke's on you. I'm married to a man.
I want to. Well, he could be your wife. I don't know. That's it's like saying dude. I think we came to the decision at work this week that dude is a non-gender specific term now because we were just saying how many people have used dude when they mean mixed groups or even all women? It's just like.
Well, I also use it for things that aren't even people.
Yeah.
Like if I'm walking down the street and I see a bunch of shit on the sidewalk, I'm just like, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the dude in that sentence would be the shit.
Yes.
But I'm not I guess I'm directing at whoever left it there, but it's open for conversation.
And it's really the thing. Yeah. You don't know who did, so you're mad at the thing.
It could be a dog. It could be a person.
I mean, in LA, certainly it could be any of those things. So all I want to do is send a warning out to everyone in Baltimore.
There is a rat in your unit that is a factor.
Just know who it is you're dealing with. And in the meantime, we can go on over to Sports Bar.
Yeah. We have to dial down those levels too.
Was it too high?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, listen, it's fun, all right? If you're listening in your car. I mean, listen, as much traveling as we have coming up, what I really want to get is a plane going through the screen and like
jet
a jet wipe. Yeah. Tales from travel amateurs, like Corey and Rachel showing up 5 hours early for their 10 o'clock
God.
flight.
I'm trying to do everything I can to keep from leaving ridiculously early. But.
Flight's at 10:15. Better be at the airport at 5:15. Where are we flying?
Yeah.
Where are we going? Somalia. Yeah, that's probably going to cause some concern. We should probably, get checked out early. Where are we going? San Francisco. I don't think we need to be there 5 hours early. It's not even leaving the state. It's okay.
I just, I don't know. Whatever.
Travel amateurs.
Believe me, you've seen me fly alone. When I have to fly alone, it's always I'm showing up at the airport 10 minutes before the flight leaves. I only have the carry-on.
All right, yeah.
So I can be in and out of the airport immediately. I don't have to worry about anything. Once I get to my destination, anything that has to be handled, getting out to meet my ride or getting a rental car, it's all handled. I got it. I'm good like that.
So I'm going back to the point of
if you're talking about travel amateurs, it's not this 50% of the equation.
When Corey grows a spine, then things will be a lot better.
She'll meet me at the airport. That's what she'll do.
Sometimes you gotta say enough's enough and make moves. And maybe that's for your good. Maybe that's for her good. Maybe I'm speaking to nobody in particular or the two people I hang out with in LA most. But that's not about sports. Let's talk about sports.
Yeah, because we've been deep into this during sports ball time.
Yeah.
Anywho, Ravens.
2-0. Speaking of flying high.
Yes.
The Ravens are flying high.
Yes, and with all the week's action from the rest of the AFC North, we have Ben Roethlisberger out for the season. We have the Browns not looking very dominant against the Jets, and the Bengals, who also...
looked really good last week.
Looked really good last week and then really terrible this week.
Yes.
So it's hard to know which Bengals team you're getting. But that's sort of the Bengals' MO.
It's streaky. And what's his name?
Dalton.
Ginger. Yeah, Dalton. Yeah. Can't really put together a full season. He's been in the league 10 seasons. He has 5 really good seasons spread across all 10
the
of those
Bobby
seasons.
Flay of the NFL.
Yeah. So things are not looking bad for the AFC North. If you're a Ravens fan.
Right.
I do fear the wheels may come off at some point. We play the Browns next week, right?
Mm-hmm. No, we play the Chiefs next week.
Right. Yeah.
Which is going to be... it could be a potential playoff matchup.
Yes.
If things line up correctly. So
Or-
I think it'll be interesting to see. And Mahomes versus Lamar.
Yes, which I
Which
think
would
is
be a
gonna
nice,
good.
exciting matchup.
And Cherish, I just want you to know, I know you still listen. We are not friends for the next 7 days. It's nothing personal. I just know you're going to be posting some Chief shit, and I just don't want to see it. But
I remember there was somebody I worked with at Nelson's who I never, ever talked about football ever.
yeah,
And then the week that the Ravens were playing the Chiefs, he came in and he was wearing a Chiefs shirt. Just like, I didn't even know you knew anything about it. He's like, I'm a diehard Kansas City Chiefs fan. I'm just like, name 5 players on the Chiefs.
yeah.
A diehard would be able to name me 5 players.
All right. Joe Montana, that's one. Number 19, Joe Montana.
Yeah, only
And,
off by a couple decades.
You asked me to name players, not to name current players.
Oh, you want current players? You never said that.
So this game could be a preview of a playoff matchup.
Yes.
Or it could show how woefully inadequate the Ravens truly are against
Could
the
be.
team.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the Cardinals weren't bad. They were just not. It's not that they weren't prepared, but it looks like you're not prepared.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like you might have been planning all the moves all week, all the plays, like making sure you're in the right position and stuff like that. But when it comes to game time, you like hesitate for half a second, and that half a second of hesitation makes it look like you weren't in the proper spot and stuff like that. It just looks like it's a team that needs a couple seasons to just sort of like get everything in line,
Sure.
and then it'll be really nice.
Sure.
But right now, it's not quite in operational.
Here's the problem.
It's like buying an old car and being like, I'm going to fix it up.
But here's the problem.
But it's a new car.
The
It doesn't
Chiefs
work.
The Chiefs,
Just kicks field goals all day.
or it's a WRX, and it's just in the shop all the time.
It looks good.
It looks good. Really wanted it.
Yeah.
Been dreaming about it for a long time. It's in the shop more than it's in
I
the
saw that Larry Fitzgerald badge on the front, and I'm just like, this thing's going to be reliable.
although I really wish I played Larry Fitzgerald last week. Would have really helped.
The ageless one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have him on. I have him like on my bench as a bye week's gonna come up, and he's a guy who's gonna put up like 12 points any week. But he's getting old. He probably can't play as well as he could. 35 points, and I'm like, God damn. All right. Well, I'll have to rethink that.
It's also the type of thing, like, you would see him on TV, and he would be so far, like, he would be so open.
Yeah.
And you would be like, why can't I watch the super wide version of this play so I could see how he got so open?
Yeah.
Because, like, the camera will just move over to with the ball, with the pass happening to Larry Fitzgerald, and it's just like nobody else is on the screen. I'm just like, how did that happen?
Also, though, I love the fact that sometimes they were flashing back to how open he was, and Kyler Murray is just so young that he's like, all right, this one is going to triangle. I'm throwing it to triangle no matter what. And you got square over there, Larry Fitzgerald, just being wide open, and he's just so zoned in on the square that he's not going to throw.
Would you
anywhere else.
imagine? What would you think if you were like a backup left guard for the Cardinals,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And your coach comes in, Cliff Kingsbury comes in, and he's just like, all right, we're going to go over the game plan for this week. I need you to be throwing to circle all game long. I'm not kidding around. He's been open every single game this season. I know it's only one, but we got to make sure that circle gets involved. And like everyone's just like,
First of all, most of the players are 18 to 25,
Yeah.
so they're probably like slot receiver. Gotcha. We're throwing to the slot all day. It's like I would just be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But it's for those.
I mean,
kids-
like you wouldn't be worried that he lost a step, that he's talking about Madden as like real football, like
or
instead
that
of
he's trying to relate to the youth.
to the
he like walks in the locker room. He's got his cap on backwards.
didn't work for me, but it has to work for somebody.
Skateboard over his shoulder, cap on backwards. Like, how do you do, fellow kids? Today we're gonna throw to circle the whole time. Yeah, which is, by the way, how I feel most of the time at work. Just
Hello, fellow kids.
hello, fellow kids. By the way, I don't think we talked about this last week, and we should have. We spotted Steve Buscemi in Pulp Fiction
Yeah,
for the first time. I have seen that movie probably no less than 50 times.
Yeah.
And never realized Steve Buscemi is the waiter in Jack Rabbit
Horner.
Slim's
Yeah,
restaurant. But he is. Go watch Pulp Fiction, and you're going to be like, holy... Is that fucking Buscemi? Yes. Yes, it is. we had to go back and watch it again because the guys here didn't believe it was him. And I was like, no. Pretty sure that was Steve Buscemi.
The voice gave it away at the end.
Right, yeah, right at the end. Anyway, none of that is sports ball. Let's get back. We were talking about the Ravens and the injuries. That we'll see. We will see how. I think this is the first test of the year, right? Like the first real test to see how this team is.
Yeah, and I feel like this one is they. Even if they lose to the Chiefs, I'm not worried about the Ravens. Like
performing is everything.
Yeah, it's are you close? Is the game close at the end? It doesn't look like you had a chance of winning at some point. Like the Saints game against the Rams.
Yeah.
Like Drew Brees goes out of that game early. The refs totally screwed the Saints really early on in the game. It just felt like if you're a Saints fan, you don't necessarily feel like, all right, well, clearly the Rams are better than us. It's like, no, we can come back and we can figure out a way to beat this team in the future.
I'll say, and to be fair, like even with Breeze out, they were holding on until there was two
until the
bad
floodgates
penalties.
open up.
Yeah, like, and then I think it just turns the tide where you're like, well, we're not going to get any calls.
Well, they had a touchdown brought back.
Yeah,
like early in the game, and you just can't
kills you. Anyway,
how bad? I feel like we're getting to the point where Goodell's got to like sit down with the refs before every Saints game and just be like, all right, guys, listen. Even if it looks like it's a smidge the Saints' fault.
Yeah.
I want you to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
That's your brother on that team. I want you to give him the brother treatment.
Let them play at least. Stop blowing stuff dead that is in process. I mean, the head ref who's on CBS
I also don't know the what the deal is with the challenging pass interference calls and stuff like that, because like sometimes I feel like I see some guy get stabbed on the field and it's not overturned, and then there's sometimes where it's like someone lightly trips into the other one and then that's like overturned. Like,
and I don't know though. I think the problem is if you could throw the red flag to review it and only the guys in the game reviewed it, I think it would be different. But
I think there were a couple calls that were just like, "Fuck you guys, you're not going to question me on this one."
I think no, because they go to New York, so New York is the one.
I know, but I'm saying like,
but I think New York is looking at the rule book and saying like, how do we define pass interference? And if it's not
I think this is this is a cop on trial in front of a police board.
I mean,
that's sort of what like.
It did feel a little bit
like they call up New York and it's just like, no, I don't see a clean shooting right here. Like,
yep.
Like, no, you said it wasn't a penalty. Yeah, it's not a pass interference.
No, ironically, that's
totally believe you.
Ironically, that's basically how the NYPD works. So New York works in both of these instances. So that's good.
I think that something to me that I just haven't understand yet. I haven't figured out yet is why not every once in a while just run some wild Hail Mary type play where everyone just runs down the field as much as possible. And then starts getting into a scrap where they're all like moving around down by the goal line, and then challenge that for pass interference. Because if the play goes on long enough,
there's going to be a pass.
There's going to be something where like a guy like grabs him or something like that. Like,
problem though is,
but then you throw the flag and then you get to move all the way down to like the 10-yard line, all on penalties.
If you make them review it, there's a chance they'll also find an offensive pass interference. Like,
but I mean, like, tell your guys, like,
after review, there were 2 offenses on the play: pass interference, defense, pass interference, offense, penalties offset.
We're going to I would just tell my guys, like, hey, we're going to try and get a penalty here. Everyone run downfield. Don't do anything stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what the guys on special teams, you know what their job is?
Not to do anything stupid.
Don't do anything dumb. And how many special teams penalties do we see on Sunday?
That's true. Anywho, yeah, and just generally speaking, I think the Ravens looked really good. I feel a lot of promise in that team. Lamar with the easiest breezy 120 yards rushing that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that ended up fast. I didn't really notice, but
I just like looked at the Yahoo Fantasy app at one point, and I'm just like, 120 rushing yards. How'd that happen? Like,
and the killer for fantasy is that's just 12 points.
Yeah.
Without his arm at all. Like,
right.
And he threw for like 400 yards or something like that, right? So
250.
Oh,
first player in NFL history to pass for 250 and rush for 120.
So this is what's concerning to me. Patrick Mahomes threw for 473 yards on Sunday,
including 4 touchdowns in a quarter.
Yes. Yeah.
That's shit I do in Madden.
Yeah, that is Madden. And I do love that. By the way, again, the creep of life into the calling of a game.
Yeah.
Is that like, yeah, some guys are out here playing football. Looks like Patrick's out here playing Madden. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. And didn't they score one on like one play? He just like heaved it downfield, and
there were a ton of like long touchdown passes and stuff.
Anyway,
well, and we're also at the point where like the Kansas City Chiefs are becoming known as sort of a easy go-to line for the people. Like this is a 4th and 16 or a 3rd and 16 for the Cowboys, or as the Chiefs call it, 3rd and 1 or something. You know, like it's an easy go-to.
Easy
now
first down. Yeah. But I mean, if that wasn't true, it would be weirder. Like literally, I think that Andy Reid went for it on 4th down like 4 or 5 times on Sunday.
Yeah.
And just like this 23-year-old guy's scrambling around in the back. Looking like you playing Madden, where you're just like, I'm going to back up 30 yards. I'm going to throw it 50 yards for a completion to get the
there was one
3rd
of those,
and 18.
I couldn't remember if it was this week's game or last week's game, but there was one where like Lamar like backed up like 25 yards. He just kept backpedaling, and I'm just like, no. But then he threw it and got a touchdown, and I'm just like, all right, well,
this is not Madden. What are you doing? Break for it. You need to run. I can't get the right trigger to work.
And one last thing in sports ball. It's the end of the baseball season. I will be able to go see a game at Camden Yards before the end of it all, which makes me personally happy. But yeah, it's the end of the road here for the Orioles. Season slowly coming to an end.
I'll tell you why.
Beginning.
I wouldn't be happy
for
about
the
that.
half dozen teams that are involved.
I wouldn't want to go to Camden Yards and cheer for the Orioles to lose. But at this point, that's really what we have to do. Like, I love that Orioles Twitter was super upset that they, like, spanked the Tigers. And it's like, what are you trying to prove here, guys? Like, let's just lose out and get the best draft pick possible.
You know what I want to see from Orioles games? What happened from Detroit the other day, where they lost in extra innings on a walk-off grand slam. Oh, I want the Orioles for every single game for the rest of the season to be like the South Park team in the episode where they're going to the Little League World Series and they're all trying to lose.
They win.
And the team that they face in the finals is just a team that's been practicing how to lose.
Yeah.
Could throw at your bat so it hits onto the field. Like that's the type of stuff I want the Orioles to do.
What's the
what
record?
I would love for like Wojciechowski or whatever to like get up on the mound and just be like, fastball.
What? I'm throwing a fastball right down the middle.
I'm throwing a fastball. Try and hit it.
What is the Orioles record right now? Have we hit 47 wins?
I mean, we've done better than we did last year.
Ah, okay. Well, we've
passed last year's.
So I think that means
anemic
that
output.
Both of us may have been correct in our preseason predictions. Like, it can't be worse than last year, right? Well, yeah, sure. We did a little better than last year. So there's
I think
that.
last year was almost just like, how does it happen like that? You know, like
yeah. Pulling up the standings.
Exciting. Haven't had to do this for a while.
Yeah, very exciting.
49 and 101.
So we've won 2 more games than we did last year with 4 remaining.
Yes, I do believe so.
So if everything holds, then we probably will win 4 games more.
47 and 115.
Yeah. So.
Oh, wait, is this through?
47 and 115 is 162. So no.
Yeah, that's fine. Good.
So yeah, I mean, if we win 50% of the games that remain, then we'll be at 49 wins. Still under 50. No, we have 49 and 101 right now. So. Yeah, so we'll be 51 wins.
We have 12 games remaining.
I would really like to go back to that episode.
I would like to lose 12 games, please.
Oh, there's 12 remaining?
For 48 and a half games.
We are one half game back less than number of wins we have this season.
Yeah.
So, do you say there's 12 remaining?
Yeah.
Oh man, the Dodgers must finish on the road then, because I was trying to get Dodger tickets, but
they have
no one's available.
They have games next week, I think.
Yeah, but I think they're on the road. I think they must be
97 and 54, by the way. So almost a
100-win season.
Well, I mean, like the opposite of the Orioles.
Oh yeah. But no, I was looking for tickets after Sunday.
Detroit has a 4-game loss lead on us, or 4 more. We have 4 more wins than they do.
Yeah,
so.
there's a chance that they actually don't hit 47 either.
Ugh, come on. We should have taken this opportunity to lose all the games.
I know,
in Detroit.
right?
Like,
let them go. Let it go. Let's bring up the keys and just let them play in the majors for a little while and see how they do. Get them a little experience. Anyway, so I think, if I'm correct, that is all that we have for Sports Ball.
Look, there is a rat in your unit that is a fact, all right?
That's just my new favorite. That's my new favorite
just
thing.
going to keep cutting to that?
I'm going to play it a lot, yeah. Anyway, so now that we are 40 minutes in, let's get to the news of the week. I think the number one story this week, the most important thing that's happening worldwide, they're about to ban flavored vape juice. What the heck?
Yeah. You're the one who cares about this more because you're the...
Yeah, so
as I puff away on my cigarettes,
I think that
sucks to be you.
I think that the thing that upsets me the most about this whole thing, the point I made to you in the pre-show meeting, 40,000 deaths a year related to guns. There have been 6 deaths related to vape.
So far.
Well, listen, and it's not even the flavored vape juice that's the problem. It's unregulated CBD and marijuana black market vape juices. Now, do you know how you stop those vape juices from being produced?
You only sell legal shit?
You legalize marijuana because every place that it's a problem is a state where it's not legal. New York, Illinois. You're not seeing it in Baltimore. Not seeing it in California for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, like in Baltimore, it's still like it's not legal. It's kind of sort of maybe legal.
It's not heroin, all right? They're not just selling.
No, but I'm saying like it's not like I can go to a doctor like I can I can in California, you know.
But I mean, it's not
quite. You have to go to an actual medical doctor to get like a prescription.
But there is a market, and here's the deal: there's a market for legal stuff, which means that the black market is really made up of well-made materials sold under the table.
Yeah.
In New York, there is almost no market at all for anything legal because even medical is hard to get in New York. So the black market stuff turns out it's like synthetic marijuana. What is that stuff? K2.
Yeah.
And it's causing people to freak out, just like K2 did back in the day. If you remember that.
Yeah.
You remember that? All those things.
Yeah, they used to sell that at tape traders.
Oh gosh!
Do
not try K2. I don't know if it's still legal.
It was like sage. You're just like smoking sage. Yeah. Like I didn't even get.
It's like snorting bath salts. Like, what are you doing with your life? Oh man!
It used to be part of the scourge of the drug underworld here is that like every once in a while you just get screwed by something, and hopefully it wouldn't be something that would kill you. But like I used to remember like buying weed when I was in high school and shit like that, and being like, oh man, we got a bag of oregano.
Sometimes it happens.
Sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. You know?
I think you've told the story before about how you have no idea what you're getting. It's just like you go to a guy's house, he's like, here's the 3 I got, here's the prices. You choose based on price, and you go home and pray. That's
I would like $40 of your finest weed.
It's like, oh, what's this called? It's called death. What? Why is it called death? Because it makes you dead.
It's called marijuana. Enjoy.
And then like we go to the Apple store down here on 7th Street, and you basically walk in. Yeah, on Broadway. Yeah, and they're just like, "Hi, welcome to MedMen, and can one of our friendly bud tenders help you out?" And
would you like a monocle so you can look at the veins on this?
And by the way,
strain of marijuana.
By the way, there's a woman running for president right now.
There's like a fucking like every single bud in MedMen looks like Scott Steiner. It's like fucking bulging veins.
I'm trying to make a serious point here, okay? There's a woman running for president who locked up maybe 50,000 people for marijuana possession. And right now, those 50,000 people, many of them are still in jail.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I can walk down 7 or 8 blocks from here and literally just have a plethora of marijuana that I can purchase.
Yeah.
With which, by the way, they will tell you the differences in the high between every single one. Like, they're the dealer you've ever had, of course, because it's an Apple store for weed. And maybe 40 minutes from here, there's a jail holding people who were convicted.
It's like
of
having
marijuana.
a sommelier like at your weed store. It's like
It's like having a sommelier at a restaurant during Prohibition.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, there's guys in jail for illegal bootleg liquor. That doesn't mean anything to me. I'm here showing you.
At Kohl's, like,
yeah. So,
cutting over to a little bit of the debate, I guess. Then, somebody did ask Kamala this question in regards to, you always talk about how it's best to change things from the inside. Well, why, when you had the opportunity to change things from the inside, did you do the exact opposite?
Well,
please,
I mean, you're paraphrasing.
Comment.
You're paraphrasing the question. I think the question was.
Look, there is a rat in your unit that is a fact, all right?
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, and she just, artfully tried to dodge the entire question, but like, it's true. She had every opportunity to be a progressive face of criminal justice reform and chose not to do it.
Yeah, and so, every instance, like by the current San Francisco DA, who's just like, I mean, you can keep sending us cases, we're gonna keep dismissing them.
Yeah.
So that's up to you.
This is why at the end of the day, it's great when your candidates are people like Bernie, because Bernie has just been Bernie for 50 years. Like they're. When he was not 70-something years old, when he was 20-something years old, he was still like, what's going on with all the injustice around you? This is just part of his shtick. Like,
to be fair, there was a Alabama state trooper beating him on the head while he was doing that shtick. Yeah. Although maybe that's where the shtick came from. It's being beaten. What's going on here? As he gets beaten in the head. So
I mean, I don't. The best way to avoid people who don't like. The same thing we got into with Miguel Santiago way back when, as a Democrat who was opposing net neutrality.
Yeah.
It's just like all you prove to me with these things, like when you're Kamala Harris's entire time as AG, just makes me go like, all right, so you can't be trusted. Yeah. So you're saying the thing I like right now, but then when you become president, are you just gonna be like, oh, fuck climate change? Like,
I live by the belief that when people show you who they are, believe them. And you can come out now and say, by the way, in the Senate, she wasn't that progressive either. She's like a neocon, a Clintonite, and now she's coming out in this presidential race pretending like she's something else.
She's Barbara Boxer Nouveau. Yeah. She's just the new version, the new model of Barbara Boxer brought out to...
Yep. To continue all of those things.
People liked Barbara Boxer for a long time.
Oh yeah, white people in the suburbs.
Yeah,
really
and then all of a sudden, just wasn't as cool anymore. So we had to bring out the new model.
Yeah.
That's what Kamala Harris is. It's just.
But then she gets on the campaign trail and she says things
more
that are
vocally liberal than what's her face, Dianne Feinstein. Mm-hmm. But behind the scenes, just as bad. Like. Yeah. She's just a little bit more to the left, just a smidge.
Well, I don't think so. I think
not progressively to the left, but sort of like the
words are very much to the left.
Yeah.
The votes, I think, though, are not. The votes are basically in the same vein.
Yeah.
That's the thing is you're running for president, you're saying all these things, but then stuff comes up for a vote, and when we go and look at your voting record, it doesn't match what you're saying on the campaign trail. It matches the fact that you were an AG in Northern California, putting people in jail for a thing that you're now like cool with.
Yeah.
So which person are you?
And joking around on like the Breakfast Club about like, I smoked some pot in my day. Like,
yeah. While you were locking up other people for deal, like buying from a guy and then busting him and taking your money back. Is that what you were doing? Like, oh, was she on the gun trace task force? Is that possible?
Find out she was the district attorney in charge that whole time. Like, how do we miss this?
She looks so much different. I don't know.
More debate thoughts, just real quick. I guess while we're on this topic, a lot of people were talking about Biden still being like sort of like Sleepy Joe and like making verbal gaffes and stuff like that. I honestly, I recognized where Biden was coming from in that debate performance. I saw it on his face. He was not going to. He was a. Have you ever gotten in a conversation with a lawyer when they're not. I'm going to use the term under oath, but not like on trial under oath, but you're like negotiating with a lawyer and every word has to be very carefully selected.
Sure. Yeah.
Because like you don't want to, like hypothetically my client might be willing to talk about a plea deal.
Yeah.
If the terms of said deal, and you're like trying to think of like each word individual because you don't want to say like my client would accept jail time when you meant plea deal.
Yeah.
Because then that's on the table. So Joe was like, I could just read it on his face where he's like thinking about the next word that's about to come out of his mouth. And if he misspoke, he immediately corrected it, even if it wasn't like a huge thing. If he was just like, I remember I was at a military base in 2005. I mean, 2004. It was 2004 that I was on that military base, because like he doesn't want somebody coming out of the woodwork going like, you said it was 2004 and it was 2003. Ha ha ha.
Technically, it was January of 2005. So
which is what Julian Castro tried to do at one point. Like the thought he saw his move where he can make that play. But
can we just say though? Listen, you're not gonna win, Joe. Like your star's fading. You're just taking up time and media. You're taking up pages, and we don't need that.
I think that there is a there. I think that the thing that nobody is saying in their mind as to why they're backing Joe Biden is that he is the closest we can get to a no problems win. You know what I mean? Like,
wait.
He's not gonna do this Green New Deal stuff. He's not gonna do anything that
primary win, a no problems primary win.
Yeah,
because you realize he loses to Trump in the fall.
Oh,
that's the thing.
I think that there's a very good likelihood that if Joe Biden is the nominee, then Trump will win again.
Yes.
It really comes down, but the problem is that people don't want. I think if you watch the Democratic primary and you are not at all engaged in politics, you saw something like them talking about like, when they're talking about Medicare for all and stuff like that and getting into the intricacies of how they would go about their plan and at what point Bernie would just shutter all the insurance companies and stuff like that. Like it sounds it sounds like a seismic shift in the Democratic Party,
Well, here's the thing.
And I think there's a lot of people who think of all the people who are normal, more organizational Democratic, Joe has the best chance. I don't think that Kamala's up there. I don't think Pete is up there. I don't think Cory Booker's up there. They're all trying to sit in the same lane.
No. Let me say this. I mean, we know Joe loses against Trump. Kamala loses against Trump. By the way, we've already had that election. That happened the last time. Kamala lost against. I'm sorry, Hillary. Hillary lost. They're the same fucking person. Okay.
Except there's not as much. I think that
there's no baggage with her.
The problem with Hillary was there was a lifetime of people beating into the psyche of Hillary Clinton kills people. Hillary Clinton is dangerous and Hillary Clinton is not to be trusted. And
I'm not going to say she did or she didn't kill anybody.
She's the wizard behind the curtains pulling all the levers and stuff like that.
All I'm saying is I wish there was a candidate who he clearly knew, held, and espoused leftist views, but was, I don't know, like some sort of public figure in a red state, in a very red area, and talked about being fiscally conservative and knew what war was like, so he wouldn't send us to war for every little fucking thing. If only there was one of those in the field that we could just rely on to attract both red state and blue state voters.
Here's
him and his husband, maybe. I don't know.
Here's where you're going to be upset with the debate performances that I saw on Thursday.
Yeah.
Pete Buttigieg is making a shift towards the center.
Of course he is.
And he is doing it in such a way that it looks like he's drafting on Joe Biden.
Hoping
he's drafting Joe Biden's car, and the hopes that if Joe Biden says something that causes him to hit the wall, then Buttigieg is just going to sling forward as the alternative. Because I mean, like, really, what it feels like is it feels like another debate about progressivism versus the sort of party platform of the Democrats, which is like, are you a Hillary type or are you a Bernie type? It's all over again. But it's just like the field of people who could be the Bernie type are Bernie and Elizabeth Warren, and to a lesser extent, you have to lump in people with unusual
Andrew Yang,
you have to throw Marianne Williamson in there and stuff like that. Whereas the party types are the ones, like Joe Biden is the only one of the party types who is breaking out at all,
Yeah.
So it seems hard to be, like, why would you vote for, say Cory Booker just made a huge turn to the left. Why would you vote for Cory Booker over Bernie or Elizabeth Warren?
I wouldn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, his Booker's place is he has to be on the establishment side. And I think that Buttigieg was trying to, like, straddle these two opinions for the whole time.
Yeah.
but now has realized that he just even if Biden dropped out, he doesn't have a position on the left where Warren and Sanders are. He would have to be coming at it for more of the
and
center.
good, because we need to be more realistic about this. Is Bernie, or as much as I back her politics, especially the part about forgiving student loan debt, trust me when I tell you, I could not be more supportive of the platform, including the whole forgive student loan debt part of it. That being said, we can acknowledge, though, that neither one of them are going to beat Trump. Biden won't beat him. Kamala won't beat him. Corey won't beat him for different reasons. Warren won't beat him. Bernie won't beat him. The only thing that's going to beat him is going to be a candidate like Pete. You got to attract the voters from the right and be able to stand on the left. That's really what it is. And it's going to be a neocon or a neo lib, a Clinton conservative.
I think that the reason that you're worried about Joe Biden is that you're worried that
he's going to be standing on the right
I'm going to do another car comparison real quick.
Okay.
You remember back in the day where you were worried about buying a Kia?
Yeah.
Because it was like sort of shoddily made, and like some people are saying that they're getting 100,000 miles of their Kia, but I'd also see it like at car shops a lot, and I don't really know what to trust.
Sometimes it was on fire on the
side
of the road.
Yeah. You're just like, Kia's a new company and they're offering great deals and stuff like that, but I don't know if I want to get stuck with my pants down.
Yeah.
Like that's sort of where Biden is. He's in that position, like, you don't want to you don't want to buy the Joe Biden and then all of a sudden you're running your regular general election strategy, and then something comes out of where he calls some waitress toots and honks her or something like that, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, what got this car for?
I think Joe has the same problem.
I didn't expect to be driving down the road and have all the parts just fall apart and me land in the middle of the road.
Which Marvel movie is it that is it Black Panther, or is it just Lupita Nyong'o from Black Panther? But anyway, she's driving the car and literally the only thing left is the seat sliding to a stop. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, here's the thing. Joe can't win. And more importantly, I'll be on pins and needles the entire time waiting for the gaffe that ends this campaign.
I'm waiting for the whole car to come apart.
You need Hillary, but without the baggage. By the way, Joe also has baggage from everybody. We talked about Anita Hill earlier.
Yeah.
He has the baggage of pushing through the nomination of a Supreme Court justice who completely and not really admitted to, but all evidence points to the fact, was a serial harasser up and into the point he became a Supreme Court justice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, apparently that doesn't matter because he got on the court and Kavanaugh got on the court, but Biden backed that. Yeah. Just like, he changed his tune now because he didn't back Brett Kavanaugh's nomination. But, he's not in the Senate anymore.
Yeah. But this whole Kavanaugh thing, I feel like the New York Times put this thing out there, and there's been other Republican think tank type people who are putting out the same sort of boys will be boys. You remember when you were at college and stuff like that.
Nope.
I have never, and I think this is a clear sign that you have problems. If so the story came out that in a book written about Kavanaugh, the person who was sexually assaulted by him in Yale, allegedly, I guess I should say.
Another person who was sexually assaulted by him.
It was when Christine Blasey Ford was about to do her testimony in front of the Senate, there were talks of 2 or 3 other people who might have also had stories to tell.
Yes.
And I think 2 of them were just I casually remember something happening, but I don't remember anything about it, and it irked me at the time, but it didn't raise to the line of I felt like I was being abused or something.
Yeah.
There was Christine Blasey Ford who knew
details
about what she was talking about. And then there was this other story about some girl in Yale who had some sort of altercation with him basically whipping his dick out, but not anything specific. And it didn't seem like there was a big thing about it would have been the talk of campus. Well, apparently it was the talk of campus. And
apparently she remembers because she wrote a book about it. So
no, she was featured in a book about it, I think.
Oh.
I thought it was about Kavanaugh, the book.
I thought she was a contributor.
Maybe
part of that book was about her giving the story.
But the story essentially goes along the line of Kavanaugh has friends who would try and force his penis into other girls' hands
and faces.
And I've had some shithead friends in my past. Some might even accuse me of from time to time being a shithead. Not in this regard, but I mean like in general.
Well, I was gonna say
general conversation.
I could say for sure I have some shithead friends.
Look, there is a rat in your unit that is a fact, alright?
Doesn't get old. It just doesn't get old.
I think that when you start reaching to the level where you have friends who are willing to manhandle your dick for the purposes of putting them in some other girl's face, or hand, like it just that doesn't even fucking make sense to me. Like
no. The only way it makes sense to me is that
I wouldn't let none of my friends would handle my dick for me. That's just bottom line.
They're very comfortable handling each other's junk. That's clear. 2, I just imagine that he is so drunk during these occasions that like anything's gonna go.
Yeah,
and maybe you just can't like even function. He's like, I want to put my dick in a girl's face, but I can't manage. And somebody's like, I got you, buddy.
Yeah.
Zip, reach in, pull it out. Like, I've never been close. Maybe I don't have real friends. I don't know, but I've never been close enough with somebody to be like,
I wouldn't even
could you do
think
that?
about it. Like,
No,
I wouldn't even. I mean, maybe, and you know, a lot of times, like I hear story, and maybe this is like part of the reason why I find the whole sexual harassment culture so befuddling.
Yeah.
But I just wouldn't do a lot of these things that I hear. Like,
it's like, what kind of person would allow someone to grab their dick and put it in a girl's face, or strip down and get in a Dixie cup and no clothes in front of a girl?
Well, no, but I mean, like, you know, like stories were coming out with like when, you know, with Me Too and stuff like that.
Yes.
Where it's like Harvey would just strip down naked and just be like, you know, like, give me a massage. And I'm just like, I would never be so ballsy as to do such a thing.
So
like,
you say that, but you don't know.
No, I can't even imagine
I just
that I would
see,
like find myself in such situation.
With a lot of power and a lot of coke and
no, but I think the only way I would ever do such a thing is if I felt comfortable enough in the fact that the answer was going to be yes.
Yeah,
you know, like.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to go through all the stages of me being naked and, like, walking out with an open robe and just being like, how about a massage, baby? Unless I thought the answer was going to be yes.
But that's the thing. When you're powerful and you're rich, the answer is always yes.
It's not always yes, but I'm saying, like...
it's a yes enough that you start to assume it will be yes.
I don't know. I can't... I couldn't even imagine having somebody doing the things that Kavanaugh, like...
Yeah.
And the fact that everyone was talking about this at Yale for like a week and a half afterwards, and that's a girl quit school because of it. Like, all of it's kind of shitty and terrible.
I know, by the way, he's a sitting Supreme Court justice. He's deciding moral cases right now.
And just as a thing, just so people know, there has been some talk about the potential of impeaching him. But that talk hasn't gotten very far because it would require 2/3 of the Senate.
Yes.
And so barely 50% could find themselves to... get there and the closest vote ever in the history.
The impeachment would be because he lied to Congress
under oath,
during his hearings when he said this was a one-time incident.
Judicial ineptitude of lying under oath. Like, I just can't.
By the way, I'd like to send a message out to Beto and others like him. Go home and run for Senate because that's how we get impeachment.
Yeah.
You go home, you win a seat. That's a Republican seat right now against a weak Republican. And then all of a sudden we got 66 seats.
See, but I would argue that. Okay, so tying it back into sort of the debate talk.
Yeah. Like,
I feel like the average American, and you got to start thinking about this in terms of like, who's the average 29-year-old guy from Topeka? 37-year-old guy in Topeka, whatever. I'm just saying, like, pick a person, make some avatars.
51-year-old white.
Make some avatars of different people from around the country who live in states that you don't win.
Yes.
Right? And say to yourself, what am I doing to not get the attention of this guy? Like, some of them are going to just be like locked in with the Trump media network.
Yeah.
And just like, no matter what. Like, you can't have a conversation with people who are just like, well, he's losing money left and right being president because Like, he knew it was going to be a thankless job, and he was going to lose so much money, and he told us all about it, and now he's doing everything he can to make this country the best it could possibly be. You're just like, I can't argue with anything that you just said because it's all wrong.
Yeah.
I don't have enough time to spend talking about how wrong you are.
You're not going to believe if I do get a point that is factual, you're not going to believe it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I could bring up one thing, and it's just like, well, that's just one thing. I'm just like, there's 30,000 of these things.
Yes. By the way, have you watched The Righteous Gemstones on HBO?
No.
I'm starting to think that my way to the White House is to get back in the family business.
Just become a televangelist.
Televangelist, get my face out there. You know, I was working on that.
You should listen to last podcast on the left. Just got done with a series on Mormonism, and
you with these. Who are you?
What?
You're the super conservative Republican Marylander who moves to California and becomes a lefty liberal out of nowhere.
All I'm saying. Okay, going back to that point I was making before.
Yes.
Think about this person. The idea of a Green New Deal or Medicare for all is like a huge. It's like I might as well say that we're starting up a space program to send raccoons to Mars or something like that. Yeah. And it's going to cost $19 billion. Like,
now you gave
people just
Elon
sound like
Musk that idea. God damn it, Corey.
But I'm saying, like, people are listening to the far left side of the Democrats talking, and it sounds like, you know, like they don't care about anything, and it's like fixing every single societal ill, no matter how much it costs.
Yep.
And the reason why people at the end of the day vote Republican is because somebody along the way comes like, the spending in Washington's out of control. We have to curb it in. And they're just like, oh, wow, that's the guy for me. And then they vote for that person, and then he raises the deficit.
If Democrats are so smart.
Nobody pays attention after the vote happens. That's the problem.
If Democrats are so smart, why do they lose so goddamn always?
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, so we are at an hour already. So
okay.
Let's just roll through these topics we have left. FYI for everyone who's watching, who may not be as tied into the news as we are. Number one, UAW, the United Auto Workers, are about to go on strike.
Yes.
This will have a couple of impacts. Nothing you'll see for a while, but car prices are going to go up because there'll be less stock, which means prices have to rise. If we actually live in a capitalist economy, which we'll see. I think just the news of the strike starting will make cars on the lot right now get more expensive, which is not how it works, but that's how they'll twist it.
Right.
To make everything more expensive.
Well, it's just like in California 2 years ago or something like that, there was an oil well that caught on fire.
Yeah.
And it was a state-based oil well.
Yeah.
So they said temporarily to curb the cost of inflation and the stuff, like we're adding a 60-cent additional tax onto gasoline to help pay for this oil well explosion, and then it never went away.
Yes. So. Yeah. Speaking of which, by the way, something we didn't put on the list, a drone from Yemen bombed a Saudi oil refinery. Yeah. One of the largest in the world, apparently, causing Trump to say he was going to release oil from the strategic oil reserve. Yeah. By the way, did you see the story about how he's been trying to do this the entire time he was president? No. Yeah. He's been trying to release oil from the strategic oil reserve the entire time to bring down oil prices because he wants to threaten OPEC. Basically. Okay. Which is really dumb because that's not how it works. Yeah. Like we have like a couple thimble full of oil and somebody walks up with gallon jugs and we're just like, yeah, keep on playing. Keep on playing. We're just going to give this out to people. And that's not how it works. Anyway, so he's hiding what he really wanted to do, which was a dumb idea in the beginning, under some international news. So UAW is going to go on strike. More importantly for you guys who are lefties like me, yeah, there's about to be a general strike in Portland. Portland, Oregon, for the first time in.
What are you hiding, Joe Biden?
That's a good fucking motto. Yeah. Somebody using that?
No, but
hey, Dems, how about that?
I'm a little bit scared. I put it out there in the universe.
What you hiding, Joe Biden? I would absolutely use that if I was running for president.
I would put that on a T-shirt.
I should have been running for president, and yet.
Here
I am.
There you are.
Yeah. Anyway, there's about to be a general strike in Portland, which will be the first general strike.
You should have been the Buttigieg up on the.
I should have.
Up on the stage, going like, "All right, I'm gonna say it once. I'm gonna say it up top. I'm not gonna bring it up again. It's gonna be like Andrew Yang and his policy."
Yep.
What
you hiding, Joe Biden?
But I'm just gonna put it out there. 2 thoughts. Number 1, what you had in Joe Biden. Number 2, like everyone cheers. Like Kelly just walked in on Married with Children. Like
another reference most people won't get.
And then you're like, and 2, guillotines.
Absolutely. There's my campaign
yield the
right
remainder
there.
of my time.
Anyway, and then the T-shirts out on the street before the Democratic debate ends. Just some guy going in and like, that was fantastic. Let's go print that up. Anyway, general strike in Portland. First time in 100 years there's about to be a general strike. For you guys who don't know what that is, a general strike is when all of the workers who are in unions go on strike at the same time to support one of the unions. So one of the unions is trying to get, now that I think about it, I think it's the fast food workers union is trying to get $15 an hour and basically forcing the city to do it by strike. And they're being supported by tons of unions, like the maids union at hotels and the unions that support the airport and the train station. So essentially, there's a chance that they're going to shut down Portland completely for tourism in order to get $15 an hour for restaurant workers, which is amazing, and it's collective action like we should be having. UAW strike, I'm not really big on like those unions. I love these small unions that are just like, just promise us you'll go on strike in 3 years when our contract's up and we're fighting for more pay.
Yeah, sure, whatever you say.
Yeah. But so general strike it might happen in Portland. Probably something you actually have heard of. Felicity Huffman heard her fate, and tragedy amongst tragedy, 14 days in jail.
Yeah.
Which means she'll serve 7 to 10 days, likely in a private facility, like we talked about last week. But no big surprises there.
Country club prison.
What's that?
Country club prison.
Yeah.
It's gonna...
if even prison, she may just go to a private facility that's secure for a while, which is better than a country club prison.
I mean, some of these places just send them to halfway houses too.
Yeah.
Just because, like, if it's non-violent and there's nothing to like,
just check. Make sure you check in 3 times a day. Like, all right.
Just drive by every once in a while.
Hey, Johnny. Yeah, checking in. So, big surprise. And by the way, everyone who's putting the comparison between her and the mom who got 5 years in prison. And here's the thing. Like, I made that comparison last week too, and I didn't make it to say I did make it to say that's fucked up. In reality, though, the thing that we should be looking at is not why is Felicity Huffman getting so like such a slap on the wrist. My point is, why did this woman get 5 years in jail for doing something good for her kids? Like, the whiteness and the privilege gets you out of trouble, yes, but why don't we move it that way instead of the other way?
And that's sort of the way I took it too. Because, I mean, like, you know, I was thinking about it. I was like, for Felicity Huffman's crime specifically, which I think was just paying to change the SAT score, right?
Bribing the college to give her daughter a scholarship.
No, but I mean, I thought that was Lori Laughlin's daughter.
Oh, maybe.
Who did that one.
Too confused.
But I'm pretty sure that Felicity Huffman's, which was tied into like the same syndicate,
scandal. Yeah.
was the hey, we can just change your daughter's SAT scores to ensure you get that, you know, because if she gets that 1500 SAT or whatever a good SAT score is now, she gets that 1500. Then
she gets that 2605. She's guaranteed. Like, what kind of number?
She gets a 939 to the 5th power. Then
she's gonna be in there like Flynn. Anyway, so
that's Brown scores right there.
My point though is,
I mean, like, what to me or to you? What is the appropriate punishment for that crime? Like, how much time do you want Felicity Huffman spending in jail? Because I mean, like, I don't really give a shit if it's a month or if it's 14 days or if it's 7 days with good behavior or anything like that.
I mean,
I feel like a fine, a large fine,
yes,
and some jail time does all you need to do in that situation.
How about this?
And I think that the woman before who got 5 years for saying that her kid lived at her grandmother's house, should have. I'm not saying that she didn't commit a crime. I'm not saying that she shouldn't expect to be punished for that. And I wouldn't have brought charges in the first place. But I think that at the end of the day, the punishment should have been closer to spend a month in jail than it should have been 5 years.
And I don't know about jail at all. I'm generally on the side of jail should be abolished, and that when people sincerely break the social contract, that we should have other means of punishment. But nonetheless, I would go the way that Sweden goes with speeding tickets. You know about Sweden and speeding tickets?
Where they figure it out based off of your wealth?
Yes.
Yeah.
So mom in Ohio or Texas, wherever it was, gets a fine of $7.53. And Felicity Huffman pays a $7.53 million fine. And then maybe they both spend 2 weeks in prison. But by the way, it's got to be the same 2 weeks. So when Felicity Huffman gets out after 5 days for overcrowding, so does the other woman. Just because she's black and poor doesn't mean she serves all 14 days. And then, by the way, violates her parole or her probation and goes back for a little while. No. You're in, you finish it, you're out. That's it.
Because you said you went to your mom's house when you checked in with your parole officer, but even though you were at your mom's house, it was with your aunt who did a misdemeanor for...
Yeah. So she's a criminal, and you're not allowed to associate with criminals. Anyway, so there's a lot of reform that could be had. One really good solution to get rid of all of these problems: guillotines. Just saying, guillotines.
What you hiding, bud?
Two last national stories I just want to touch on. OxyContin family, the family that made billions and billions of OxyContin, who were basically in these lawsuits against them, making the claim that, like, oh, we didn't make as much money as people thought.
Yeah.
Find out this week that they moved a bunch of money into Switzerland, Swiss bank accounts, which is why it looked like they didn't make as much money as they did. So I don't know if this is going to violate those settlements, and maybe they'll have to go back and pay more. God, I hope so. But I guess we'll see.
That sounds like the type of thing that a liberal judge at a lower court would hear about.
Yeah.
And say, oh, I'm fining you for all that money that we found in that Swiss bank account too. And then it gets brought up to a higher court and gets thrown out.
Yes, of course. Especially if it makes it to the Supreme Court where it's a bunch of rich guys saying, like, what's the problem with that? Sounds like capitalism to me.
You telling me a pharmaceutical executive can't have an offshore bank account? Like,
yeah.
What is he supposed to do? Live in the Maldives?
What is he gonna pay taxes on all that money? Come on.
He created a lot of jobs, and those people pay taxes.
Finally, good news for us here in California. Rent control comes to the whole state. Gavin Newsom finally does something good for the people of California. And we're locked in at 5%, I think was the final settlement. So rent cannot increase more than 5%, which means now Corey is going to have an extra strong negotiating position next year. Like, oh, I see that you raised us the limited 5% amount.
The mandatory. It's just going to become the mandatory 5%, by the way. That's just the way it goes. But, yes, thank God, because, I mean, there is some exemptions if, like, all of a sudden the...
a bunch of housing was become available here.
Well, no, I mean, like, you know, if the value of the dollar goes over more than 5% on a yearly basis, then they can adjust based off of that amount and stuff like that. But I what's so amazing to me is how California is one of the biggest states ever, and it's got 2 cities in it that just suck up entire real estate budgets.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I was out in Victorville, and there's little McMansions that they're just like, $200,000 gets you into this house, this 4-bedroom home, 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom home,
and it's only a 90-minute commute into the city.
You have to live in the middle of nowhere in the desert.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could get a lot of value for it. Meanwhile, $400,000 in San Francisco a year and you're homeless. Like, it's like,
it's a parking spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the jokes about Manhattan, only worse.
Yeah,
because like Manhattan at a point was like, you know, you had to be a millionaire to live there, and like if you were making less than $100,000 a year, you were living in a 1-bedroom studio shack with, like, you know, your mattress built into the wall and shit like that.
Yeah,
like,
Murphy bed.
Yeah.
Look at some of those apartments.
There are many of those.
Yeah.
And San Francisco is ridiculous too, because I remember I went when I went up to San Francisco once to see Brendan. He was looking at apartments at the same time. He's like, "You want to look at this apartment while I go?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And that place, I was like, God, it was a 1-bedroom, and the bedroom wasn't even like, it was like a fancy studio.
The bedroom was around the corner.
It was like
but there wasn't
paper
a wall.
walls,
Yeah.
like it was like a Japanese.
Yeah. $6,000 a month.
Well, no, it was honestly like $4,700 a month, and like that didn't include the extra $200 for a parking space or like the extra cost of, you know, this and that and that. It's just like, Jesus Christ.
Well, all jokes about Manhattan
That's
aside.
a killer.
All jokes about Manhattan aside, you could always find neighborhoods like the Upper East Side that weren't so nice that you could go live on, or Alphabet City.
You could live in Brooklyn, or you could live in Queens for a while there. Yeah,
and you're close. The problem with San Francisco is literally all of San Francisco is expensive. You got to go out to the peninsula or across the bridge into Oakland, and even Oakland's not that cheap anymore. You really got to go way out.
And
to the
it's
suburbs.
so small.
Yeah,
it's one of the smaller cities. I mean, like, I imagine you could fit San Francisco proper into Manhattan
easily. Easily. Yeah, no, it's way smaller.
I mean, like, it's it wouldn't be the same shape. Like, you'd have to compress the square mileage of San Francisco in a way that it would fit in there. But and Manhattan is just 1/5 the part of New York, and not even the biggest land space part of New York.
We don't count Staten Island when we talk about these things. You can't get there by train in any part of the city to me. Jersey City is more the city than Staten Island is. Ferry, are you out of your mind? What year is it?
I ain't taking a boat.
Yeah. And finally, there was a story out of Baltimore. I don't even want to get into it. White people in the county, just stop it. Is that enough to stop it?
That's fine. I as somebody who is about to leave California and go to Baltimore County, I am not looking forward to
racism.
It's not even.
Wait. I want you to give this entire speech with your accent. Go ahead. What are you going to hear when you get back there, Corey?
What are the people going to say to me?
Yeah.
They're probably going to go and say something like, why is it my fault that everyone in Baltimore is poor and causing crime? Like, I didn't do that. My dad didn't do that. Like, it's been going on for years and years. And, I'm just an auto worker. I just work a mechanic down Pulaski Highway. And I know what it's like to struggle. I don't know why they're picking on me.
Got a little southern there. Got a little southern there.
It's a little southern, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I dig it. It's fine.
I think Baltimore County. You know what I would do if I was Baltimore City? I'd build a fucking wall. These Baltimore County people love the idea of walls so much.
Yeah, build one.
Build one around Baltimore City.
Yeah.
And then say nothing comes in or out unless you pay.
Listen, they want to go down there for the arts and the culture and the harbor. They just don't want to go down there for the crime and the squeegee kids.
You're willing to pay the $20 toll to get into the city of Baltimore when you have Ravens tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for your $20 contribution to helping
first of all,
squeegee kids live.
That goes to the state, not the city.
Just saying.
And if the Ravens were smart, they would move that stadium out there to Dundalk or. They can have the Ship Bowl and the Super Bowl in the same weekend. It'll be great.
We put the stadium on a dock in the middle of Bully's quarters. Don't worry, black people can't swim. They can't get out here.
Hashtag socially acceptable racism.
But I'm saying that's the kind of halfway racism of people who live in. That wasn't my. By the way, I hope the voice was doing enough to cover up the. I don't want to get that. What's the name of the guy from SNL who's just
Richie Gillis?
Yeah, or no.
Guy, whoever knew.
Yeah,
the guy who's not going to be on SNL after he got announced about being on SNL. How about that? But yes, that is not Corey's view. It may be the view and opinion of his significant other, but it is not the view of him.
No.
Hey, listen, she's a white shit from fucking Dundalk. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying there's a lot of that casually unacceptable racism.
It's only unacceptable to us. It's perfectly acceptable to the people around them.
Because I was telling you about it. It was like the Baltimore County way is you see a black couple move into your neighborhood and you're just like, oh no, there's crime.
Yeah,
there's gonna be more crime in the neighborhood now. It's just like that's just idiot switch mentality of just like you see somebody who's black and you associate black people with the city where there's all the crime. And this person must have come from the city, and they're going to bring the crime with them, which is a horrible, awful way to think about people.
Meanwhile,
if the first thing you do is immediately judge them based off of what you imagine that they are going to do based off of your preconceived notions of what their race means to you in the terms of this situation.
Your 21-year-old kid who's still living in your basement, by the way,
Yeah.
is selling oxycodone to all of his fucking friends out of the back door. And they're the crime, not the little juvenile delinquent living in your basement who you defend to the end of his.
Well, that's that's always been the thing I always try and think about with crime. Personally speaking, is when you talk like we were just with Felicity Huffman and the 14 days versus the 5 years for the other woman.
Yeah.
Like, what seems appropriate? And like if a friend of yours got busted for something, like if Rob got busted for selling oxycodone underneath the like off his porch or something like that.
Yeah.
What kind of punishment would I want for him? Well, I wouldn't want him to go to jail forever. I wouldn't want him to be spending 20 years in jail for that because it just doesn't seem like it's appropriate.
Yeah.
But I could understand that he would need to serve some jail time.
The problem.
But then what is the appropriate amount? And then you're starting to view things in the face of, well, I know this guy who just got arrested.
Yeah.
So I don't need to, like...
The problem isn't the oxycodone. The problem is the bodies that they find with the oxycodone. Then it becomes a huge problem. Anyway. Speaking of huge problems,
well, I don't know where to segue with this one, so I'll just say, "Oh, the Anthem."
There is a rat in your unit that is a fact.
It never gets old. All right, go ahead.
Oh, the Anthem.com. Corey to the Anthem.com with the Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the listener line 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
443-219-7595. If you want more of me, you can go to my website, CoreyBakerFilmmaker.com, Facebook.com/CoreyBakerFilm, at LegendCB5 on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. The most recent review.
Do not listen.
The most recent review I did was for, what was it now? What was the most recent?
Ready or Not.
Ready or Not, yes, which was really good. I enjoyed that. I basically gave my version of a thumbs up, thumbs down on that one when I did it. But Rob,
There is a rat in your unit that is a fact.
That was the wrong one.
Rob is not entertained by the fact that I said you should go see this movie, so he's going to come out with his own movie reviews with this inconsistent rating scale. And
here is what I would like to think. I'd like to think that much like politicians, that a little pressure from the outside has caused you to wilt and soften. So that's what I think is happening.
I'll have to go see something that Rob hasn't seen so we could have a differing review. Because all these reviews are just going to become boring when it's the same exact movie that we both saw.
I've seen 4 or 5 movies that you haven't seen.
I'm going to have to go to the Parkway when I'm home and see something that you don't see, just so I can
I'll have to
review
go
up there.
I have to go to one of the 17 small theaters in Hollywood and go see something that I will hate, but which will give me something to talk about.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you can find more of me at Robert N. Cheek at all your social networks. Make sure you check out robertncheek.com, where you can find links to my political blog, the news website, and the books, which are available on Amazon.
Buy Rob's books.
Thank you. And, of course, make sure you check out my YouTube channel, where the Everyman movie reviews will start appearing shortly. And, of course, Everyman movie reviews being a juxtaposition to the, pain in the ass, hoity-toity.
Look, there is a rat in your unit that is a fact.
Movie reviews of Corey at Corey Baker Filmmaker. So I'm not going to have mine up and available in podcast form until, I fix some audio issues, because the audio is not great right now on them. But
I will sit him down and teach him a thing or two.
Listen, it's not like I have any.
Lesson 1: press record before you start.
I don't have any good. I don't have any good audio sound people in my life. So once I find somebody, then maybe I'll get some recording in. But yeah, so make sure you check it out on YouTube. Of course, it's Robert N. Cheek on YouTube. You're not going to want to miss that.
All right. Well, I think we've done good here today.
We've done something. I don't know if it's good.
Look, there is a rat in your unit that is a fact.
But as always, you're listening to the O The Anthem podcast, part of the O The Anthem digital network. For Corey, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody.
Are you going to try and play it one more time just to...
God damn it, yes, I was going to, but now I can't because you called it out.
Should I start talking about something else and then all of a sudden you can just cut me off in the middle of it with your...
No, I mean, it's fine. But, what I really should have done there was to say, for the rat, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody. But I didn't. Missed out on that chance.
All right.
Hope
Well,
everybody's
bye!